TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on another wonderful show. You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings, a show where you're going to get some dynamic advice, you're going to get some major topics, and you're going to get introduced to some of the wonderful kings that's going to give you those topics. We got educated young black brothers that's here just to serve you, and we're going to get our night started off. We got a wonderful show tonight, but we're going to go to King Takar and let him introduce himself.
I'm King Takar from Boston, Massachusetts.
In the building.
Boston in the building.
Yes, sir.
And my next to my left is my main man.
I'm your boy ATL Doc from the ATL. You know, that's how we do.
All day, every day.
All day, every day from the west side.
Absolutely.
Coming from the west side.
West Side. And
Bankhead
I'll
and
be your
Simpson.
host for tonight. My name is Minister Lundy.
Swag
By way
Central.
of Macon, Georgia. Reside right here with my homies in the ATL. Peace up, always A-Town down.
There it is.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. We're going to get into some amazing topics tonight, but one of the topics that we do want to get into is the Nate Woods case. If you don't know who Nate Woods is, if you've been following any type of news, you would have known that Nate Woods is a young black man out of Birmingham, Alabama, that in 2004, the murder of 3 officers he was involved in. And I say involved in because the state of Alabama put him in it. He had nothing to do with the murders, but on Thursday, the young man lost his life after serving 16 years on death row. Doc, we're going to go to you first and start this thing off. Absolutely, you first.
I have the
And-
privilege.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
And
gentlemen.
give
I
us some
appreciate it.
hindsight on the unfair justice that the United States Supreme Court, along with the governor of Alabama, Kay Ivey, did to this young black man to cause him to lose his life.
Now, let me see if I can explain.
Right.
You know, we're still in America. Excuse me, I stuttered a little bit. So, back in 2004,
Yeah.
the young man, Nate Woods, had a warrant against him. It was for a misdemeanor violation. The police showed up, busted in the door.
Right.
Mr. Woods was, you know, shocked and afraid. So he complied.
Right.
From my understanding, he actually laid down on the floor and was being arrested.
Right.
Well, another guy was in the back and didn't know what was going on.
That was Kerry Spencer.
Kerry Spencer. He bust through the door with either an AK or an M16, I believe, with an assault weapon, I was told. And he killed 3 of the officers. Now, because 3 officers were killed, Alabama was looking for blood. I don't know how else to word that. Being that the officers were all Caucasian and the executioner was an African American, to me, that played a huge role in it as well.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because Nathaniel Woods complied with the arrest. But they charged him and what's the other guy's name?
Kerry Spencer.
And Mr. Spencer, they charged Mr. Woods and Mr. Spencer both with the murders. Now, Mr. Spencer admitted that Mr. Woods had nothing to do with it.
From death row,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes. He never said that Mr. Woods
Right.
was complicit in some kind of scheme. However, the police said that it was a scheme that Mr. Woods laid on the floor to give Mr. Spencer time.
Almost like premeditated.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
Now, being that he didn't know that they were coming, for them to premeditate,
It
for
could-
them to plan,
it could not
that
be if they
is-
didn't know it was
yes,
coming.
exactly.
Right.
And Martin Luther King III, T.I., Kim Kardashian, several famous people actually petitioned all the way up to the Supreme Court for a stay,
Right.
so it can go back to court
Right.
and be tried again. Supreme Court said no.
Right.
Now, if you think that, this administration didn't have anything to do with that, the Supreme Court is now brought in 2 conservative judges. So they weren't trying to hear that. And this man was executed through lethal injection Thursday. And they know he was innocent.
Right.
They know beyond a shadow of a doubt that he had nothing to do with it.
Well, you already know they're not trying to hear that. Period. You know what I'm saying? We're African Americans at the end of the day. They're not trying to hear, no matter if we are innocent or not. They're
Right,
not
right.
trying to hear that.
But-
You know, they just look at it as another black, you know what? So
Right.
you know.
I was at work and had the misfortune to hear a conversation, and it went like, what do you call a African American billionaire? A nigger.
Wow.
So no matter what you have, who you are,
Right.
your skin automatically puts you in a category. And we all know that that word has become synonymous with
Right.
Neanderthal, with unintelligence, with violence, with
Right.
all these stereotypes and stigmas. So once he was accused and got into the system, then his life was over.
Yeah.
How is it in 2020 we're still going through injustice like that, where a
Right.
man could be killed knowing that he was innocent
Right.
and nobody did anything? I mean, nobody with the power to stop it did anything, knowing.
And the governor, she could have used her power of authority at any particular junction
Right.
of this case to stop it or give him a stay, try to revert it to the life sentence or life without parole. But in the state of Alabama, they have a conspiracy theory law. And under this law, what happened to Mr. Woods is that, first of all, 2 or more people were killed, 3 being white police officers on active duty. Under Alabama state law, that gives the jury a substantial amount of evidence to try this young man on a conspiracy theory. But keep in mind, only the state of Alabama, out of 50 states, only the state of Alabama used those practices. So to condemn this man for 16 years, Doc, anti-car, and then kill him under lethal injection, it was totally unfair. His family pled his innocence, even from death row. Kerry Spencer is now on death row where he's been since he was convicted. He did an interview with CNN. CNN correspondent asked this man directly, point blank, what part did Nathan Woods play in this role of killing these officers? Kerry Spencer simply told him, as honest as I can be, and I'm a man sitting on death row and I own my own, he said to the correspondent, Nathaniel Woods had absolutely nothing to do with it. The media and the court system put it out there as it was premeditated. Doc.
Exactly.
But what Kerry Spencer was saying is he didn't even know that he was going to kill them. It was a spur of the moment thing because one of the white officers had pointed a gun at him. In his reluctancy, he pointed a gun back at the officers, and just a mere fact or instance, he began to shoot. And when it was all over, he had killed 3 police officers.
Was it one of those situations where they just like broke into his house?
Yeah,
and
they-
On a misdemeanor warrant, they're
They had
supposed to
their
announce
warrant.
themselves.
Yeah.
See, man, I can kind of understand why he just I mean, I know it's not right, you know, why he just started just shooting automatically, but it's
Yeah.
like, you know, somebody just breaking into somebody's house, you know.
Yeah, they had a no-knock warrant, but keep in mind that Kerry Spencer was not even in the room as of yet. But Nathan Woods, and like Doc said, he complied everything that they
Right.
wanted to do. Kerry Woods came unidentified.
Right.
And
He didn't know. He was unaware. And that's what I'm saying. He
Absolutely.
probably was just thinking that some people were just, you know,
Well, it was
kicking
a
in the
drug
door.
house first and
Right.
foremost. It was a drug house, so they came prepared,
Right.
you know, to serve this one on him, Doc.
I don't think that the whole, you know, you said you think it's wrong or you understand it's wrong that he, I don't understand it's wrong.
Right.
If somebody,
I mean, as far as you know, him, you know, shooting at the police
I
officers.
don't think
you
it's
know what
wrong
I'm
with him
saying?
shooting at the police officers.
At the same
Anybody
time,
come in my house, you
Right.
get what you get.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. You know, like for them to just kick down the door, and
Yeah.
he was unaware, so he's probably thinking, you know, some people trying to
Exactly.
rob me, or you
Yeah.
know, yeah. So I gotta
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
automatically do what's right to protect the household.
Hey, thank you, Angie, Shamika,
Hey, Angie.
and Alphonse. Thank you, Misty, for sharing. We appreciate it. If you can, you know, let us know what you're thinking. This story is one that has caught the media attention very mildly, and I don't understand that. I mean, I don't understand how a person can be killed for no reason by the justice system and no one bring it to national attention. I don't understand how that can happen in 2016, regardless of where people say, well, you know, in the South, things like that happen.
Right.
No, that's not acceptable. Regardless of where you are, if you're in America, then you have unalienable rights. And one is the right to life. I mean, okay, they came with a warrant and he surrendered to the police officer. So his portion is done. He goes to jail, sir. He does whatever the justice system deems is fair for his crime, which was a misdemeanor.
Right. Absolutely.
But for him to go to jail for 16 years and then be executed, have countless appeals, which, you know, they knew he was innocent and they killed him anyway.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, you know, again, when it comes to the system, they don't care. They really don't care about.
I'm not
like, that's
disagreeing with
that's
you.
that's
Yeah.
I just think we
reality
got
of
to
it.
change it though,
Yeah.
because we are the system.
But it's not gonna change.
That's
Like,
and to me that's the biggest problem. When you accept the status quo, then you're complicit in it
Right.
because it can change.
it can change, but I mean, we've been trying to
hasn't
change. We've been trying to
changed
change.
yet.
Right, it hasn't
Yeah,
changed yet. We've been
absolutely.
trying to
We
change
haven't
for
changed
years.
it
Hasn't
because
changed yet.
we say stuff like it don't make sense to vote. We
Yeah,
say stuff like it don't matter when it comes to who's in office. We say stuff like all of them crooked. Well, that's not the case.
Yeah.
We need to put people in office who's going.
Absolutely.
I would change Congress from the top down. I mean, when we see Mitch McConnell,
Yeah.
and he's blocking legislation or he's blocking things from becoming law that was written by both the Republicans and the Democrats together,
Right.
and he won't let them vote on it, he needs to go because he's thinking it's more about him than it's about the American people. We doing that. That's on us. We're failing as a society. The citizens are failing.
What about the justice system itself?
The justice,
You know, is
the chief of police was voted in the office, is voted into his seat.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So why are we not voting? Well, if things don't go right,
Right.
If something like this happens, when he was first arrested, the people of Alabama, whatever city that was, should have gone to the governor's office.
Right.
If you don't correct this, we voting you out of office, period.
Yeah.
Period, point blank. You're not going to hold this seat as a public servant and fuck over the public. Excuse
Right.
me. Excuse profanity. I'm upset. I'm a little emotional.
Right. And you
Honestly,
should
my
be.
eyes are welling
Yeah.
up because I feel extremely strong about this. They killed this man knowing he was innocent. A man's
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
is gone.
Yeah.
You know, ain't nothing that anything
so-
anybody can say
Yeah.
or do that's gonna bring this man back.
Right.
What about the collateral damage? What about his mother, his girlfriend, if he had kids, his kids?
Absolutely.
What about all those people
Yeah.
who touched this man's life?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's gone.
Yeah.
And for what?
You have got to get out, even this year, even in this democratic situation that we're going through, you have got to get out and vote, and you have got to make your vote count. Now, me on a personal basis, I feel that the United States Supreme Court and the governor of the state of Alabama, you have made a reprehensible and have potentially contributed to the irreversible injustice. It makes a mockery of the justice system. And I'll say that as far as young black men are concerned, this generally does not happen on the white side of Alabama as to what happens on the black side of Alabama. We have been under Jim Crow laws for years. And now that we have a platform that we can sit up here as black men and talk about it, we are going to talk about it. We want you to chime in. We want you to comment, and don't stop commenting, because racism is at its highest form right now. And we got to go back to Martin Luther King and do something about it, and your vote counts. Definitely counts.
And with that being said, we got to go to break.
And we're going to take a break right now, but we'll be back. Don't leave your set. We're going to continue to pay this man homage, to let his family know that we care about him, and we're going to come back. You're tuned in to Talk Show Kings. And if you got some home repairs that you need, some windows done, some door fixes around your house, call Etchison, the home builders in Atlanta, Georgia. Call them up. Go on Facebook. They have a page there. But we'll be right back. Talk with you in a minute.
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30316 in East Atlanta Village.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom, Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom, Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
Are you an independent artist wanting to get your music heard? And are you an independent artist wanting to get an all-exclusive interview? Well, tell me why you still waiting, because your girl, Addie Star, is here, right here on TV 1061 on The Playlist. And if you would like to have a seat right here with me, email me at 1061tv@gmail.com. Join me beginning Saturday, March 14th at 5 p.m. right here at TV 1061. Are you
you, and you. Welcome back to the show. You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings. We're having a very unique subject tonight. The topic is the young brother out of Birmingham, Alabama, who died by lethal injection on Thursday for a crime that he did not commit. It's a sad, sad story, and it just mourns our hearts. Our hearts go out to the Nathan Woods family right now. Also to the family of the officer that lost their lives. You know, we understand the heartfelt, but still, there's an injustice that was done. Before we get back into it, I would like to give a shout out to our executive producer, that's Mr. Felix Washington. Also, our technical engineer, that's Mr. Marcus Gibbons, and to our media associate and media correspondent, that's Ms. Shantae Barksdale. Without these people backing us and making this show happen, it'll never come to you. So thank you guys so much. Tycon, I'm gonna start off with you. You're a young black man, and for this to happen to another young black man, what type of stereo injustice does it set in your heart and put on your mind as watching this happen to another young black man?
I definitely feel like it's wrong, you
Right.
know, because it can, you know, it can happen to the next young black man,
Right.
you know.
Could be your brother, your cousin.
It could even be me, you
Yeah,
know, God
absolutely.
forbid,
Exactly.
you know, again, the whole justice system, you know, police, you know, I think it's just messed up all the way around, you know.
Let me ask you a quick
And then
question.
not to
Right.
say that there's, you know, there's not good police officers or
Right.
you know, good
Absolutely.
people when it comes to
Right.
you know the justice system, but we all
Right.
know, you know, as far as you know, African Americans, you know, the justice system is not right.
Right.
Period. You know, when you look at other races, you know, they can get away with certain things, you know, in less time, and then we can commit that same exact crime, and we can get like the maximum, you know, and again, that's just that's totally unfair.
Quick
you know?
question. Have you ever done something? No, I'll refresh that. Have you ever been accused of something that you didn't do?
Yeah.
How about you, Doc?
Definitely.
I definitely have.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been accused of something that I did not do, would never do, wouldn't even think of doing. And I was pretty much in a similar situation to Mr. Woods. And I had to really trust, you know, in the judicial system so that my name can be cleared, so that I can be a free man, so that I can walk with my head up. And I know how it feels personally. It's not nothing I read in a book or something I seen on TV. I've lived that same injustice that Mr. Woods lived, and it feels horrible.
Yeah, it definitely feels horrible.
You know,
like I said,
Doc,
anytime-
to be accused of something that you know you didn't do.
Yeah.
Anytime you're
Yeah.
accused, and especially accused and punished for something that you had no dealings in.
Absolutely.
Let me get to a couple of comments.
Okay, go ahead.
Angie says, Doc, they will pay for that on Judgment Day. God have mercy on their souls. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
Right.
I love you, sister, but
Yeah.
I'm not the most religious cat on the planet, and I'm not trying to wait for Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I don't agree with. To me, they killed an innocent man, so to me that makes them murderers, regardless of how it's looked at, all the way up to in my opinion, to the president, all the way down to anybody who had the power to stop it with the facts laid out in front of them and let that man be killed. To me, they're all murderers. Even some of the jury members were trying to get a stay of execution, trying to get him out,
And you
saying
know,
that don't kill this man.
and not to cut you off, but I'm not trying to be funny, but you know, people wonder why, you know, young people in the generation, like they run from the police, like, you know, when it comes to
Because you can't trust
yeah,
them.
you can't trust. They
Right,
run from the police
right.
regardless, you know, regardless of whatever the situation is, because the minute you get caught in handcuffs, ain't no telling what they gonna throw at you and
People-
say, and you know.
There are so many videos, so many attorneys that come out and say point blank and period, don't talk to the police.
Right. Never,
Tell the police,
yeah, yeah.
police,
I got mine on you.
am I under arrest or
Right.
am I being detained? If so, I would like to talk to my attorney.
Right.
If
Exactly.
not, then am I free to go? That's all you say.
Right.
But so many people want to get out of it as quickly as possible.
Right.
So they talk to the police, and The police are not there to let you go. The police are there to try to find something to convict you
Exactly,
on.
because that's their
And-
job. That's what
Exactly.
that's what they get paid off.
Exactly, but if you didn't do anything, you can say the wrong thing and make it look like you did.
Right.
Because we're not, most people don't have degrees in law. So we don't know the law like that. So, you know, we can say something that, you know, we're thinking we're just telling them the truth to get out of this because we know nothing happened. In
Right.
fact, when it's quoted by Nathan's either sister or girlfriend that when they first put him in jail and and said he was accused of murder, he laughed. He laughed like there's no way they're going to convict me of murder
Right.
because I
Absolutely.
had nothing to do with that. You know, everybody going to tell them I had. And although everybody told them he was
Right.
convicted of murder, he had several. When you go back to court, appeals.
Yeah.
All of them botched.
Right.
So he stayed in jail for murder, and then he was executed.
Right.
And they knew he was innocent.
And also keep in mind that in the state of Alabama, and it seems like Alabama have their own laws, to send a man to death, it has to be a unanimous decision.
Yeah.
That means that if they have 12 jurors, all 12 jurors have to make a unanimous decision to take a person's life. In this particular incident, there was 10-2. And the 10 people that sentenced him to death, the governor of Alabama, Kay Ivey, went along with it. Not a unanimous decision that it should have taken Tykar, but 10-2 sent him to death.
Alabama is one of those states. Believe it or not, like they're convicting or sending a lot of African Americans on death row.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, because of the
Probably one of the highest states.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
is. That's what I was trying to say.
people think that that slavery has been abolished, but that's not true at all.
Yeah.
The 13th Amendment
Yeah.
says that people that are incarcerated can be used for free labor. Slavery wasn't about just being brutal to people. That wasn't the driving force behind slavery.
Right.
The driving force behind slavery was free labor.
Free labor,
Was
absolutely.
to make America what it is today. America was built on cotton. Slaves picked cotton all day, every day. That brought in so much wealth, which is equivalent to hundreds of billions of dollars in today's economy. So imagine hundreds of billions of dollars and you're paying out nothing.
Right,
That's what made
absolutely,
America
yeah,
great.
yeah.
So when slavery was abolished, that's where Jim Crow laws came, because they put a little excerpt in there and say, well, you can't hold people as slaves, but people in jail can be used as slaves. So now people are getting arrested for loitering, for just being somewhere.
And that makes you inhuman.
Yes.
Because basically that's what they're doing if they treat you that way in jail, like you said.
Exactly.
They're
But-
humanizing you know.
When slaves were released, they weren't released with 40 acres and a mule. They weren't released with
As
any
they
kind of
call
thing to
it.
stay,
Yeah.
anywhere to live, any form any form to sustain themselves. They had so much knowledge because you think about it, these were the welders, these were the architects, these were people who did everything. So they had knowledge on how to do things, but they didn't have, a lot of them didn't have the opportunities. Let me get to a couple more comments. Shamika White, that's crazy. The state of Alabama has always been crooked and has always had laws on the books that are still stuck back in those times. But if you are not informed, those laws will sit there until they are acknowledged and voted upon.
Right.
Exactly, Mika. During the
Exactly,
break,
yeah.
that's what we were talking about. Like, there are so many things that happen and so much that's out there that we simply aren't made aware of. Nobody talks about them until it comes into effect and something that this unfortunate happens. But there are so many unfortunate things that happen that aren't talked about. We need to be hearing about Nathaniel Woods on every media outlet out there. I mean, his story should be rampant so that it doesn't happen again. People need to vote. Ivy,
Yeah.
what's the name?
Kay Ivey.
Kay Ivey. People need to vote them out of office.
Yeah.
I mean, things need to be done. And if people that are in place aren't doing them, then they need to be taken out of place.
Yes.
That's what our government is.
Yes.
Our government is made by the people, for the people, which means that the people have control. We have lost that mindset. We think that the government has this power to do this, that, and the other. Elected officials are, well, the Senate and the House are voted on every 2 years. So in 2 years, If this person isn't doing anything, isn't trying to change laws that are unjust, isn't making laws that are just, we need to vote them out of office. But so many times we don't do that. We just complicit with the way things are, thinking that they can't change. Well, they're not going to change if we don't do anything about it. If we just leave it as it is, it's not going to change.
And you have to get up, like to reiterate, to piggyback off Doc was saying, you have to get up, get out, and go vote for change. If there are any listeners from the great state of Alabama, Alabama laws are regulated by the people of Alabama. If you get out and vote, change. There's a song that was made, and in the song it say, a change is gonna come. And a change can come, but we as a people has to make it come. For a prime example, Joe Biden 2 weeks ago was one of the lowest Democrats on the totem pole. But guess what? He went to 2 black states and got the black vote. Now Joe Biden is the #1 candidate above Bernie Sanders right now. So listen, black people, get out and vote. Vote for your city councilman. Vote for your mayor. Vote for your district congressman. Vote for the secretary of state. Just vote for whoever that you feel the best candidate that's going to do the best job, and watch change come.
Angie says, I say Angie because that's a friend of mine, Angela Smith Gorham. Angie says, he's not the first, unfortunately, and won't be the last. So people need to get out and vote and get people in positions. Angie, I agree wholeheartedly. And I say it all the time, we need to vote. And I always say that as black men, that we need to protect our women and children.
Yes.
But as a people, we need to protect each other. Sophia Marie Daniels says, we must in every city, every state, unite, educate in the political ins and outs, learn the amendments that affect our people, stop accepting crumbs.
Right.
I agree with you, Sophia, the whole way around.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, we need to gather as a people and understand that we need better financial literacy. We need to learn how to spend our money. For us to spend $1 trillion, then that lets you know we have money, despite the public depiction they try to paint us with. Besides, to me, all that's just social engineering. They want us to think a certain way so we don't ban, so we don't get together and try to change things. But in most ghettos, you see an Asian dry cleaner and or store. You might see an Arabic gasoline station or store. You might see Caucasian restaurants or Caucasian-owned restaurants.
Right.
If there's no money there, then why are these other races putting things that earn money there?
Right.
If there's no money to be made, then why invest in that area?
Absolutely.
Why we got to go to break when I'm talking passionately, and I really want to get a lot of things off my mind.
And we will. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. So stay right there in front of YouTube, stay right there in front of Facebook, and stay right there where we're having big fun here on TV 1061. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rear view mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? You have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Hi.
Hey, welcome back to the show. We're glad that you stayed with us, and we hope that you are enjoying this amazing show. You are tuned in to Talk Show Kings, a very popular show here in the Atlanta area, but guess what? We are worldwide, and we thank you for your participation. Please subscribe to the show. Please comment on the show, and we would love to have you to join us as friends. But we're going to get back into the show, and Doc, since you left off in such a fashion, you know, it's heartfelt. I want you to go back into how you feel and the politics and the judicial system, and even the governor of the state of Alabama and what role she played in this part.
In my humble opinion, the government of Alabama needs to be voted out on the next election. It's that simple. We as a people need to gather. We need to learn financial literacy. We need to gentrify our own areas. We need to start a grassroots movement that teach us to see each other as brothers instead of others.
Right.
We need to understand that to be real doesn't mean that you have to hurt the next African American person. Mm-hmm. To be real means that you are who you are. Mm-hmm. If you don't sing well and you like to sing, being real says sing anyway. Being real says if you like country music, then don't be ashamed of that. Be who you are. Mm-hmm. Being real doesn't mean that you have to carry a gun and shoot everybody. We need to learn that we're people. We have the same feelings that everybody else has, the ups and the downs. Mm-hmm. And that's about as real as you can be. Right. I mean, we have a mentality to where we don't respect one another. I can't understand it. If I walk into a restaurant and an African American is being my server or whatever, I don't mean that in a negative form, but if that's their job, I don't mind you know, if they greet me, hey, brother, or something to that effect. But I still expect good service.
Right, absolutely.
You know, I don't expect to have to wait a long time for this, that, and the other when the Caucasian or Hispanic or other gentleman doesn't. You know, I mean, we still have to learn to treat each other like that. You know,
Absolutely,
we have to
right.
learn to treat each other
We do.
better.
And we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing that at all.
That's why I say
You
a
know,
grass movement. We need all these pastors, all these. I don't know how a synagogue is run. I've never been in one. I have been inside of mosques, but we need everybody in areas that we gather to start a conversation about us treating each other good despite our differences, about bringing each other up socially and
Economically as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, absolutely.
we need to write TV shows.
Yeah.
I mean, now that we have somebody who owns a network, then why don't we move all these shows to his network?
Yeah.
You know, why don't we hire us to write better scripts that don't depict us just drug dealers and gang bangers and so on. I'm not saying those people don't exist, but we're so much more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doctors, we're lawyers, we're engineers. I mean, we're husbands, we have wives.
Yeah.
You know, there are black couples, families that are
Absolutely.
happy together. You know,
Absolutely.
raising kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why are they not depicted?
Yeah.
We only talk about the single black woman, the single black man, the black man being a dog, the black woman being over-sexually portrayed.
Right.
Why don't we take the initiative to show us in a better light?
Why you think so, Tyrone?
I can't even say right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is hard some mornings for me to get out of bed because my knees hurt sometimes extensively. It's hard for me to get my day started, and sometimes it's hard for me to even take my medication. But the most hard part of my life is being a black man. It's hard being a black man in today's society, Doc, because so many people are stereotyping us, they putting pressure on us, and they are putting us down when they should be lifting us up. Even the wives and girlfriends and mothers and aunts and people that we know are putting the black man down and stepping on his head because he lack in this area. What he lack in this area, he's insufficient in that area. What he needs to increase, he's decreasing. But guess what? You are decreasing the value of the black man when he has nothing to gravitate to but, and it hurts me too, but negativity.
Swag Central, bro.
You know?
I love you. Check this out. I have a nephew that's a rapper, and I reconnected with one of my friends from childhood and found out that he owns a record company. So of course I hooked him up with my nephew.
Right.
So I'm not asking either one of them for a dime. You know, now of course I would help my nephew in any way I can.
Very few because everybody want the hook up, they want the cap.
Bro, I take care of me. I don't want or need anybody to take care of me except me.
Right.
But the only thing I'm saying is that why are we not helping each other? Right. We have positions now to do that, so let's do it. It's time, you know. I see so many women saying that the black man is getting with the white woman.
The reason
whoever you love is who you love. That's not. I'm not going to be concerned myself with him. You know, I'm concerned myself with the black man that's being with the black woman.
Right.
I'm gonna bring him up.
Right.
I'm gonna ask him to teach other men, young men who he comes across, the beauty of a black woman, the beauty of raising his children, the beauty of, you know, of going out just playing ball. You know what I'm saying? My dad would play baseball with us at times. It was infrequent, but it happened. You know, he would take us bowling and things of that nature. And when I say us, I don't just mean me and my sister. I mean kids in the neighborhood. Yeah. Simply because that was him. That was what he liked doing. That was who he was. He never was doing any kind of freaky stuff to no kids. Exactly. Right. I'm saying, where are they?
Yeah.
Let's get each other out of jail. Let's offer each other jobs and job training.
I was going to say, everybody's so focused on themselves and what they got going on. They're not trying to help the next person out.
That's how we're social engineering. Social engineering is where the television, the radio, the newspapers, the magazines, all that shows us in a certain way to where we start thinking that's how life has to be. And right now that way is get as much as we can and push everybody away. If you try to help somebody, sometimes they'll push you away just because they don't trust you. They think that if you're helping them, you have to want something.
Right.
You can't help them just because you have that avenue, you have that connection.
Absolutely.
Why don't we trust each other enough to accept a helping hand when we're trying to lift each other up? And if I'm helping you and you get successful, then why are you so hell-bent on not helping me back?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
One
I'm not
blessing
trying to,
deserves another.
Exactly. But if you bless me or not, that's just who I am as a person. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the most Christian person on the planet. So this is because of this little black diamond. It's the first black diamond I've ever seen. That's why I got this, you know? But I think that I love my people. And that's all I can say as far as that goes.
Right.
Now, before we run out of time, we need to talk about Biden and Bernie. If you have something to say, please say it because, okay. Raise the bar. We have, Sophia says raise the bar. Thank you for watching, Emily. Amelia, I apologize, Amelia, for pronouncing your name wrong. Thank you for watching. Sophia says raise the bar. We have all that is required to have our own city, to create jobs, build education, to encourage, build up our kings and queens.
Absolutely.
Hey, you hit the nail on the head, sister, and that's what we got to do. Change the words that change the man, the woman, the child. Speak, say that. Come on the show. We need to interview you. We have you sit here and talk to you. Exactly.
There's sisters out there that need to hear this.
I'm not saying that people don't do wrong, that African Americans don't do wrong. I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm saying that I'm not going to glorify that. I'm going to glorify the positive people. Right. I'm going to glorify Daniel Moss, the person who's over the HBCU organization, who's finding scholarships, who's giving scholarships for African American kids to go to HBCUs to become something. To kill a mic.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about us. That's another thing about us as Black people. We need to stop glorifying things that don't need to be glorified.
Exactly.
About, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, if you lived a certain life or if you did certain things, then I mean, by all means, you do what you had to do, but don't glorify it.
Exactly.
Because that's how we get stereotyped. You know.
There's a rapper, one of my favorites, but he has a nice little following, but he's not one of the major.
Mainstream.
He has white eyes. He always wears white contacts in his eyes, and he says some of the most outlandish stuff at times. But he said, you sell guns, you sell drugs and get shot and go to jail and then glorify it like it's fun to be you. Like, you know, why can't black people evolve? Because, you know, everybody sees us as Neanderthals.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Marcus, I'm gonna get the name, and when I do, I'm gonna say it. But my point is that we're at a point to where we can change the narrative.
Right.
We don't have to accept anybody saying that Africa is not a shithole country.
Yeah.
If you look, and Africa is a continent. You know, I mean, you could fit 3 of the United States in Africa.
And a lot of people
in land mass. If you look at a globe, then if you look at the lines of latitude and longitude, they make the southern hemisphere look smaller than the northern
hemisphere.
That way, they have a whatever to make the population look a certain way.
Right.
But it's not. It's really not.
Absolutely.
We need the truth to come out.
And on that note right there, we're going to close out the Nathan Woods segment of the topics, and we're just going to give praises to that family. We ask that you be strong, you know, and believe that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. This too shall pass, and our prayers want to go out to you. Our next topic for this evening is the Democratic race for the President of the United States. We'll hold that thought, and when we come back, we want to know, would you pick Joe Biden or would you pick Bernie Sanders? Who stands the best chance to defend Donald Trump? We'll be back.
Defeat.
You are listening to Talk Show Kings.
Life is too hard living.
So many Black lives incarcerated. so many Black lives silenced? When will we stop the madness?
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30316 in East Atlanta Village.
Artists wanting to get your music heard? And are you an independent artist wanting to get an all-exclusive interview? Well, tell me why you still waiting. Because your girl, Addie Starr, is here, right here, on TV 1061 on The Playlist. And if you would like to have a seat right here with me, email me at 1061tv@gmail.com. Join me beginning Saturday, March 14th at 5 p.m. right here at TV 1061. Are you an independent artist?
Exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom, Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom, Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
Hey, welcome back to the show. We are so glad that you are still here. So we must be entertaining, we must be enjoyable, and we must be good-looking black men in the area. I feel you. Hey, if you're looking for that special gift for that special someone, then look no further. Go to Burke's Jewelers, where you'll find the cream of la creme in wonderful, exciting, and beautiful jewelry. That special someone, take her over to Burke's, 491 Flat Shoals Road, Decatur, Georgia. And guess what? Tell them Talk Show King sent you. We'll get back into the last segment of the show. When we finish off, we was talking about the Democratic candidate for beating Donald Trump, so to speak. We have two left. That's Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. Who do you think would be a definite positive win that could give Trump even a challenge, Taco? And why?
I mean, y'all already know I'm not really into politics like that.
We know, just try.
But you know what? I would say Bernie Sanders, because he's
why Bernie?
From what I've seen, you know, he's been trying to get into the presidency office for years.
Because he has the popular young vote.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So
you know why? Student loans. He has told the American people that he will cut the student loans ratio and save a lot of them from even paying that money back. So that's particularly why your age group is getting that vote to it.
Right. Yeah. So I definitely I see that happening as far as, you know, him being a runner-up against Donald Trump. However, I personally think that because the way the system is set up, I think Donald Trump is going to give another 4 years in the office. You know, even though that's not what the people want,
right?
You know, but that's probably what's going to end up happening. So we got to face reality on it. You know, but again, you know, I definitely see Bernie Sanders, you know,
getting a better
Trump.
chance.
Right. Yeah.
And we're going to go to our political analyst, Mr. Doc. Give us something to feed off for, Doc.
I like Bernie Sanders a lot more than Joe Biden. Now, if everybody did not know, I was a part of the Yang Gang. But I like Bernie Sanders more than Joe Biden, but I think Joe Biden will actually win the nomination. And I think that because Bernie Sanders calls himself a democratic socialist.
Right.
Now, people have a negative connotation when they hear socialism. In fact, the happiest countries in the world are socialist countries. Not that we should be a socialist country, but when he uses that term, Donald Trump has mastered the smear campaign.
Yeah, he
He
has.
says nothing that he's going to do. He makes no sense when he does try to talk about. Anyway, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump at all, but he will smear that term, socialist. He will use that to the fullest. He will try to get as much fear about that term as much as he can. He will say little dumb stuff like, if he becomes president, we won't even be able to use toilet paper.
Yeah.
We won't have water to drink. He'll make all these dumb comments.
Right.
I'm not a fan of Biden at all. I think Barack Obama chose Biden because he was the least scary of the Democrats. Back when busing was a thing, Joe Biden voted against it.
Right.
Joe Biden has voted several times with the Republicans. He is the least scary Democrat out there.
Right.
I don't understand why he gets the minority vote he does, simply because, I think it's because he was with Barack Obama, but I don't give him credit. I really don't. And I like the policies that Bernie has over, and I'm not specifically talking about reparations or the student loan.
Right.
I think that we definitely need to try to get away from fossil fuels, because if we destroy the planet, then what does that say? It might not affect us. What about our kids? I don't want my daughter to just, one day not be able to breathe. We're not talking about the dead zone we've put in the Gulf of Mexico that's the size of New Jersey.
Right.
I mean, from human waste and our overconsumption of corn, there's an area the size of a state that nothing is alive because we dump our waste there.
Right.
We don't even talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Couple of comments.
Know about it.
Oh, wow. Okay, Sophia says, right, donate the time until we can pay for your own time. I think that's when we was talking about helping each other. Okay, so Biden doesn't have a black agenda. I agree. Not a fan. He just riding on Obama's coattails, just my opinion. Mine too, Angie. Angie still says he hasn't said anything about what he plans on doing. I think Trump is afraid of Joe Biden. That's why he comes for him. I agree with you on all of that, Angie. I don't see, I don't think as African Americans we should just think Democrats. I mean, now, if it comes to a Democrat and Trump, then of course, anything for Trump, I would vote for a Chihuahua over Trump. But that's because of my disdain for him. Thank you for watching, Chris. I see Chris Merritt. Mika says, I haven't seen anything but jabbering from both. Bernie's too old. He's going to have problems with his health.
You know,
and
I
Biden
was
is
thinking the same thing.
What is his agenda for us? Does he even have one? Now, and then Angie says, now if Biden nominates old girl from Georgia, old girl, I'm pretty sure she means Stacey Abrams.
Yeah.
Then can't remember her name right now. I may consider. So, oh yeah, push for her. And okay, that was Angie. Then Mika says, oh yeah, push for her there and get her in the door, Angie.
Right.
And Angie says, come on, Doc, there's no global warming. Angie, you don't stop that nonsense. I see you laughing, so I know it's a joke.
But Stacey Abrams said that she was not interested, but that was 3 months ago. So who knows? Maybe she will be interested. Now, me in particular, I'm undecided at the moment because I've been listening, researching both of these candidates, and me personally, I haven't found something that's going to benefit me. And see, when you vote for these candidates, you have to vote for them for something that you think is going to benefit you. Don't just vote for, and what a lot of blacks are doing, what I found out, Doc, in Tucker, is that because Joe Biden was on the same ticket as Obama, now they're voting for Biden. They don't know that Biden tried to cut health care.
Yeah.
And you got to understand, American people, that you need your health care. Here's a Democratic candidate for president that cut health care in 2018. So be very careful who you vote for and make sure you make the right decision. So right now, I'm undecided. But I do think that because of Bernie Sanders' health, Bernie's 84 years old, and he has health problems. Joe Biden, on the other hand, I think will give Donald Trump a better fight. However, I'm like Takar. Mentally, I really think that Donald Trump has already pretty much got it.
I don't think that at all.
Absolutely.
I don't, not at all. I know he didn't win the popular I know he didn't get elected by popular vote because he didn't. You don't win with 2 million less votes. Also, although I'm not a fan of Biden, if it came between Trump and Biden, I definitely would vote for Biden. We have to realize that we need to get Trump out of office by all means. Right now, we accepted treason from this man. I don't understand how people still like him after that, but we need to get him out of office by any means necessary. Now, if we need to have Biden in and he's a one-term president, then I'm cool with that. If he gets in the office and does spectacular, then we can see. But we need to get Trump out of office. So whoever is the Democratic nominee, I will vote for them strictly because I want Trump out. And that's I can't even word it any.
Absolutely.
There's no mix of words with that.
The black vote is going to play a significant role in who becomes our next president. Because if we don't get the black vote out, then Donald Trump continues to have these white Americans that vote to make America great again. Then here we go with that same aspect. And if you notice, he has not changed that slogan as of yet.
But when was America so great for the African Americans?
I have no idea.
When there's no time period in America that I want to go back to.
When he was here Friday, he looked like he didn't even want to be here.
Exactly. Why would he? You see when that African American guy hugged him?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, Uncle. No, I ain't
from
gonna
the
say
CDC.
Uncle Ruckus. The dude was on stage and hugged Donald Trump, and if you look in Donald, he was mortified. He was like, "Hey, wait, somebody get this off of me." Andy says that Stacey Abrams said on the barbershop with LeBron that she would consider it. People, do your research and vote for who aligns with your values. I agree with you.
I agree with you.
However, I think we got to get Trump out of office. So whoever the Democratic nominee is, then I think we all should vote for him. When people do silly stuff like write in a candidate's name, not enough people are going to write in a candidate's name to get them nominated. So you're just taking away votes from the person who could win. We need to get Trump out of office. I'm an Andrew Yang fan. If he doesn't get the Democratic nomination, I'm not going to write his name in there because that's going to take away and give Trump a better chance of winning. I can't see that happening. It's a damn electoral college. Do away with that. I ain't mad at you, Angie. The reason electoral college is, I don't call it important, but I understand it because there are so many people in different areas like California, New York. You know, if you can win those certain areas, you ain't even got to campaign nowhere else.
Right.
So, you know, the Electoral College ensures that you can't just win those areas and get the presidency. I don't agree with it. I mean, honestly, I would like for them to get away with it, do away with it.
Yeah.
But on that same note, I don't want somebody to just win 2 places and be the president.
Yeah, because it keeps the playing field level and it keeps it fair by doing that. I
Right.
mean, just like Hillary Clinton, the way she lost, you know,
she won 2, she got 2 million more votes than lost.
Absolutely.
Come on. Shamika says, why don't they just hold hands together and saying we shall overcome? Angie says it was never great for us. That does not work. I don't even know why that is still an option. Well, I understand why it's still an option, but I don't agree with it. I just don't know what's a better system. I don't know what to go to.
Yeah.
And I don't even believe that the vote is really counted well. I think they tell us what they want us to know because we have no way of knowing.
That's what they do. They tell us what we want to hear,
Yeah.
you know, and then once they get in, they don't do anything that they said that they were going to do.
We have no way of knowing how many people actually voted. You know, we depend on them to count, to tally the votes and report it correctly. Yeah.
I feel like it's the lottery, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all rigged.
Yeah, I honestly can see that.
Yeah,
I can see it.
so, yeah.
I really
yeah.
can. And
the
just
luck
like
of the Irishman.
Just like when the guy went to Trump telling him that Russia is trying to interfere in the election, and Trump fired him.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So we have a foreign power trying to influence our election, and you saying you firing the person who told you about it.
Now keep in
If
mind,
that
they're
ain't
saying
bull,
that they're pretty much trying to do the same thing now.
Yes.
Russia's trying to get involved even now.
Yes, that's what I'm talking now.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes,
I
now
heard
the
that,
guy. So yeah, Mueller when he was testifying said that even while he was sitting there, Russia was trying to influence America.
Wow.
And America was never great for us. For me, my African American side and my Native American story. Now the Native Americans really caught a bad from America. Now the African American is the only people I know that had laws specifically written against them. You know, I mean, no other people was 2/3 of a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
No other people was voted to be slaves. You know, I mean,
no other race.
Exactly. So
were slaves.
No other race was
other
voted
race
to.
was
There was no
voted to be
law.
slave.
Yeah, exactly. There was no law on the books.
God, that's something else.
Yeah.
That's one to grow on, Tom. That's one to learn.
And
Keep that
when
up
we
there.
talk about reparations,
what reparations?
if-
I'm still waiting on reparations.
well, I don't even see how they could.
I guess
make it
reparations
happen.
now is your paycheck.
And no, that's not reparations.
I know,
Because
I'm just saying.
reparations is not what you're earning now. Reparations is money that your people earned in the past that they're giving to you.
right.
Now, I don't see how they could even calculate the money that slavery brought in.
Yeah.
And that would set so many people up nicely, but what would they do with it without financial training?
So what do they
because
come-
you remember you were talking earlier and you were saying how we, spend our money on crazy stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
If everybody got $10,000, what they gonna do with it?
Go buy some
crazy,
rims.
right? Blow on some crazy stuff. Yeah.
But if everybody got $10,000, what can we do with it? We can get together and make so much stuff happen.
I'm personally smart enough. I'm gonna invest it into something that I know that's gonna, I'm gonna make my money back.
You ever seen this theory right here, fellas? That you ever seen a Mercedes Benz with the nice big rims on it?
Yeah, I have.
But they have nowhere to park it.
Probably over their mama house.
Absolutely. Nowhere to park it.
If you living with your mama, then Mercedes-Benz shouldn't, unless your mother's living with you. There's a difference.
Right.
Then I don't think a Mercedes-Benz should even be your goal.
Yeah.
America can't afford that bill. I feel you on that one, Angie. I feel you on that one wholeheartedly.
Right.
And then we have so many people complaining. It's crazy how people act like land and money wasn't given to others.
Yeah.
But when they talk about giving it to us, then people get offended and they want their hands in it too. But when it was given to them, however we felt about it was like tough luck.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
even there were inventions that were created by slaves. Slaves couldn't own nothing. So
Right.
the invention was patented for the master.
Absolutely, yeah.
Some of them, their families are still making money from that stuff today.
Yeah.
I mean, they have cells that are used now from an African American female and her cells just keep regenerating. They don't understand why.
Right.
But they've used it in so many different medicines and so on and so forth. They not.
Right.
Yeah. Home loans, business loans. Okay, I think it should be free college and no one pays taxes for 5 to 10 years. Our business loans or home or business loans and home loans. I feel you on that one because, you know, it was hard as all I do for me to get a business loan.
Absolutely.
And I didn't get a business loan. But, you know, it's hard. It's not on an even scale by any stretch of the imagination.
Absolutely.
They talk well on the phone, but then when I when I went into the bank, it would be a completely
Totally different story.
Exactly.
It's, oh, we thought you was so-and-so
no,
on the phone.
We didn't read the whatever.
Absolutely.
Now, your
Just
credit
like
is
we
730,
thought- right.
but, you know.
Just like we thought we had 30 more minutes, but we don't. Absolutely not. But we are so glad that you tuned in to a wonderful show tonight. We are glad to be here each and every Sunday at 6:30 here on TV 1061 and streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. My name is Minister Lundy. I'm your host tonight, and we're going to close it out with the Kings that's going to wrap it up for us.
Shout out to everybody that I know, that's, been supporting me. And,
Absolutely.
Been watching me. Shout out to iHeartRadio and WDRB Media. Tune into my show, Tycar Radio, every Saturday night, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, if you're looking, I'm looking for artists, entrepreneurs, anybody who wants to put their brand, who wants commercial slides, interviews, et cetera, et cetera. Feel free to email me at tycar@tycaronline.com.
There you have it. Doc?
I want to give a shout out to baby girl, lady with everything in me. I want to give a shout out to, I always joke with Felix about everything I can to mess with him, but I want to say, brother, you're a good person and I appreciate you. Yeah. While I'm here, I said earlier that it was a joke on my job. I work for several charities over the weekend, so I wasn't talking about my main job. If I had heard that there, I would have definitely gone to HR. This was one of the charities I work for that I heard the disparaging comments. I want to clarify that. I want to give a shout out to you cats and let y'all know that, I appreciate you and I ain't got nothing but love for you. And to our audience members, thank you for participating. Right. Without y'all, we're nothing. So, keep watching, let other people know about us. And, we're going to try to bring it to you. If you got something you want us to talk about, let us know, and we'll run it by Felix and get it back to you, and try to get it back to you.
Shouts out to my beautiful wife, Natalia, who I love you so much. Shouts out to my mother, Geneva Lundy Huff. Thank you so much. Shout out to my family, who I love so much. We just appreciate you. Continue to support TV 1061. Continue to support Talk Show Divas. Sorry they couldn't make it this time around, but they are getting themselves together, and you probably will see them here in the near future. We love you, ladies. Get it together, and much love to you. To Felix, our executive directors, to Marcus Gibbons, our technical engineer, and to Shantae Barstow, our media personality. We love you so much. Good night from Talk Show Kings.
But I'm afraid to die.
And cut.
You're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Hi, this is Bill Duke, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.